My wife and I initially prioritized our freedom over having pets or children when we got married. However, as time went on, my wife began expressing her desire for a canine companion to keep her company during her work-from-home days. Wanting to make her happy, I decided to surprise her with a Pomeranian Spitz puppy named Cheku for her birthday. Initially, she was overjoyed by the adorable little dog. We gradually introduced Cheku to the concept of going for walks outside, and once he became comfortable on a leash, my wife took on the responsibility of walking him independently. I assumed that over time, I would also take on some of the morning walks or playtime with him. However, I soon realized that my wife preferred to handle all of the dog walking duties herself. As the weeks went by, I noticed that my wife and Cheku's evening walks were becoming longer and more frequent, even when it wasn't necessary. This behavior struck me as rather peculiar. "Do you think your evening walks with the dog are getting a bit too lengthy, Luda?" I inquired. Luda responded with a smile, "No, I don't think so. We just walk as usual." I beg to differ. Sometimes you're gone for an hour and a half, or even 2 hours, even though 30 minutes for check is enough. "Are you going somewhere else?" I pressed. Luda explained, "Yes, we go to our nearby park. It's just that I've met a woman who walks a Yorkie, and we often end up walking together, chatting. We lose track of time." With Luda's explanation, I managed to calm myself down and realized that my concerns were unwarranted. There didn't seem to be anything amiss with the situation. However, Lutka still hadn't kept her promise, and the evening walks continued to take longer than necessary. That's when I made up my mind to join her on the walks. Luda was surprised by my decision, but she didn't protest. For about a week, I noticed that my wife, Lutka, was constantly meeting someone new, but I had never seen this acquaintance before. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to find out more by following Lutka. She told me that she would have to stay late at work for a few days due to an overload of reports, so I suggested she go out with her new friend instead. The next day, I finished work at my usual time and headed to the park where Lutka was supposed to be. To my surprise, she was indeed there, but not with her friend. Instead, she was engaged in a pleasant conversation with a man who was also walking his dog. In order to gauge her reaction, I decided to call Lutka. She heard the phone ringing, took it out of her bag, and upon seeing it was me, she put it back. Meanwhile, she continued conversing with the man, smiling and looking deep into his eyes. I was uncomfortable with the situation, but I tried to give Lutka the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps they had simply met by chance, and after all, he also had a pet with him. They didn't kiss or engage in any overtly romantic behavior, so I decided to observe for a few more days. Over the next 2 days, the same pattern repeated itself. Lutka didn't answer my calls, and each time she went out, it was with the same man, who appeared to be around 10 years younger than her. I didn't know what to do. It was time to confront the situation head-on. As soon as I arrived home, I wasted no time in laying out everything I had witnessed and confronting Lutka about the unanswered calls. Her face immediately flushed, and her eyes began to wander. It seemed that I had caught her off guard with my sudden barrage of uncomfortable questions. "And who is this neighbor, Kolya, that you've mentioned, who lives nearby?" I inquired. When I started going for walks with Cheku, I became friends with him. I didn't feel comfortable admitting that I was hanging out with a guy, so I made up a friend, Lutka explained, her voice filled with embarrassment. "Why would you even go out with him?" I asked, genuinely puzzled by the situation. "And besides, he's much younger than you, only 26. You're already 35. So what's the appeal?" I added. Lutka nervously laughed and replied, "Well, I don't know why he would be interested in me, but there must be something that I need from him. Otherwise, I would have answered your calls and been honest with you. Luda, I may not understand why he wants you, but it's clear that you have some kind of need for him. Otherwise, you wouldn't have avoided my calls and kept things from me," I remarked, trying to grasp the complexity of the situation. Ludka made numerous attempts to resolve the situation, but I refused to let it go. She confessed that she had feelings for this person named Callie, attracted to his carefree demeanor. Despite engaging in intriguing conversations with him, their relationship remained platonic. Nonetheless, Ludka's infatuation with him was enough to strain our relationship. I proposed that she move out and live separate lives, as it became clear that we could no longer be together. The trust between us was shattered, leading me to make the difficult decision to pursue a divorce. In a direct conversation, I shared my reasons with Ludka, including the fact that she had initiated an acquaintance with Callie while walking our dogs and expressed interest in him, to which he politely responded but never considered a romantic relationship. Eventually, their communication came to an end. Roughly 6 months later, Ludka attempted to reconcile, but I had already moved on to a new relationship. Now, Ludka finds herself alone, while I am grateful that our loyal dog, Cheku, remains by my side. Dear friends, thank you for listening to our stories. Subscribe to the channel, put likes, and leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to press the bell not to miss new stories, which we try to publish every day. We also remind you that everyone can share unique stories from their life or the lives of friends, which can be sent to us by email, which is specified in the description of the video. Good luck to everyone and be happy!